Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming Podcast. Today is the 16th December of 2018. My name is Kralizec and I'll be one of your two hosts for the evening, the second being Tygergamer. Hey Tiger, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
Tired, but good overall. I just finally wish Christmas was over. I really hate all this. Everywhere you see carols, and people are just in an abysmally cheerful mood. I hate it. Yeah, I'm really not a Christmas person, as you might have guessed.
For me, it just feels like another day as you get older.
Yeah, that's true, certainly. But yeah, you still have to visit your family, your grandparents, and it's traveling, and honestly,
I'll say that. I'll say this though. You might not like it now, but cherish every chance that you get to visit your family.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be with my family when there's something to do. But Christmas is just so abysmally boring. You give out presents, and there's nothing to do. Because, there's no work, there's nothing, you just sit around. And I get bored doing that, honestly. I was literally contemplating just not going to Christmas to my family this year, but I think my girlfriend would have crucified me if I had done that. So,
every right so.
Yeah. Sadly, it was not really an option. But we're not here to talk about Christmas. We're here to talk about video games. So, how about we do that?
All right, let's start.
Okay, so I think I'm going to start if you don't mind. And I'll start with a little game I played this week called Jets and Guns 2. So first, let me clarify one thing. This game is still in early access. It's really bare bones at the moment. There are only 4 levels in total available, if I'm not mistaken. But let me actually check in my library on Steam. For those 4 levels, I've already played this game for 2 hours. I played and the levels take 5 minutes to finish. So I think every level I played at least 6 times, if not more. And if you're wondering what Jets and Guns is, it's a very classical side-scrolling shooter. Shoot 'em up. It's a continuation of a game that, honestly, when did the first one come out? It's a long time. I remember playing this still at my parents' house. It came out on Steam in 2014, but it certainly came out much earlier than that. And the game was sort of prided on the fact that it was just insane. Especially the weapons, enemies, everything was just bonkers. I remember to this day, one of the weapons I used to use in that game was a weapon that shot bees at your enemies. Just swarms of bees, and it was insanely powerful because it had auto-aim on it. Or there was a weapon that would, casually shoot black holes. It wasn't even the most powerful weapon of them all. Was just there's black holes swirling around your ship. It's like a defensive weapon. It's not even the offensive weapon.
The best comparison I can think of for this game is the Ratchet and Clank series. Because in that game, you also have some crazy weapons as well. So
yeah, in those terms, it certainly is. And Jets and Guns 2 does already follow in that suit. From the weapon, there's a lot of weapons from the first game, I honestly can tell. And a lot of them, especially the early weapons, are somewhat traditional. It's like a gun that shoots slugs of hot iron. But the gun I found that was most fun at this point is just a weapon that shoots lightning. But this time you get the ability to attach auto-aim to every single weapon.
Oh wow.
So you don't even have to aim, you just... But actually that simplifies the game by a ton. On the other hand, you also have like a heat meter. So, you know, if your weapons overheat, you cannot shoot. So you just can't like be pressing the space all the time. But yeah, it certainly does work. It's on easy difficulty, it's really easy. On normal, you will die a few times, even in regular levels. And in hard, oh man, this game is really hard, and you will need to take real care of not getting hit by almost anything. The bosses are pretty amazing. From the bosses I've seen so far, there was like a tank that jumped out of a sewer essentially at you. There was this robotic zombie and a mechanical sea monster, Sea Kraken. And oh man, he was hard as hell. He took me at least 40 attempts before I beated him. Bait? I don't know how. What's the past tense of beat?
Say it again.
What's the past tense of the verb beat?
Beat.
It's just beat?
Beat.
Before I have beaten him. God damn it, grammar is hard. But yeah, again, the game is in early access. It's currently $10. By the way, it's really hard to understand you now. I think your internet has gone to the shitter for a second there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jets and Guns. If you're a fan of the first one, I suggest you support the developers and buy this, because even for the first few levels, the game does seem really great. And I just want it to be as awesome as the first one is. And from what I've seen so far, they're really putting their love into it. And they're saying that they have been already working on this for 2 years at the moment. And they're expecting another year in early access before it goes to full release. Okay, so that's it for Jets and Guns. What have you been playing? Hopefully you... by the way, I'll tell you if we can understand you, actually.
Okay. Me this week I'm going to play one game, but it's an old game, but it's a good game, and that's Final Fantasy IX. I played the PS4 version. It's pretty much a port of the original that came on PS1 back in the early 2000s. And I'll just go in right now. For PS1 game, this Final Fantasy IX is like a PS1 game. Of course, it's your typical Final Fantasy fare. We go and fight in turn-based battle. You defeat enemies, gain levels. And also, game in terms of the it goes back to the service medieval roots. So there's that. But there are some batshit crazy moments later on in the game too. So prepare for that.
And you would sort of expect that from a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah. I will say that some of the stuff that they added to this remaster is if you go to the pause menu, you can activate like 4 different I'll call them cheats.
Mm-hmm.
Where one, you can like speed up the game if you don't want to be so slow. Another where you can like turn off random encounters so you don't have to worry about them as much. And another one where you can, if you don't want to grind as much,
mm-hmm.
you can set on the cheat, you do maximum damage of 9,999.
Mm-hmm.
And also battle assistance where each time you get hit, you regenerate health. So there's that. So if you don't feel like, if you play the game in the past, slog through the game again, you activate those cheats. And there's like some 3 additional cheats to make the game even easier. But yeah, if you grind enough, you can activate those cheats for you. There's that. But yeah, 12.9. If you have not played it yet, I highly recommend that you go and give it a try if you're a Final Fantasy fan. and yeah.
Okay. So again, we're very sorry for the difficulties with the quality of the connection, but we cannot really do much about that, at least for the moment. Hopefully it will restore itself with time.
Yeah. Even though our internet's pretty fast, it's still choppy at the same time. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I did also play one more game, and in this game I spent a bunch more time compared to Jets and Guns. So you might remember that this one from last week's recommendations. This is Greece. And holy hell did this game deliver. So I'm actually going to put on a little video from this game. Because holy hell, this game is literally an art piece. This, like, every single frame from this game could be taken into a museum of art. And I'm serious about this. Like, every single frame. It doesn't matter where you pause the game. Every time you do so, or every time you just stop for a second, the game is just marvelous. You'll literally say, how the hell did people create this? Who has so much talent? And the same thing can be said about the game's music. Music is a classical instrumental score. And I can already tell you, this is my winner for this year's best music. There's no comparison. Nothing comes even close to this by like a magnitude of order. I will say this, gameplay-wise, the game is somewhat simplistic. It does have a decent number of mechanics, but none of them are really complex. None of them really challenge you more than you would expect. But honestly, I think that was the intention with this game. They didn't really want to go for anything that you would spend like 20 minutes trying to overcome a hurdle. This is a game about an experience. Because on top of that awesome music and those stunning graphics, it also has a really well-told story. The story, I think, can be summed up very easily. It's about a girl that gets lost, I think probably inside her own mind, while she is dealing with something that happened to her in real life. And the journey throughout the game is just her dealing with that. And the game starts somewhat grim, you know, and over time the game just gets more colorful, more cheery. And in the end, you finally get to overcome that issue. And it's told without saying a single word throughout the game.
Okay.
And I actually love that, because that opens the game and the game's story to pretty much anyone. I think I could give this game to like a 10-year-old. And he would mostly get that the story is about overcoming issues.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad the game is seeing tons and tons of positive reviews. It's getting 10/10 and here and there, because it truly deserves it. I already have a review written up. I still need to record it. We'll be doing that tomorrow and publishing it tomorrow. So if you want to know more about this game, be sure to check out my review tomorrow. But as of this point, I can easily tell you, if you have any inclination towards great music in games, or about games that literally look like paintings, or you're just interested in an experience, you should buy this right now. It's a bit pricey for what it is. It's $17, but that's still cheaper than going to the cinema.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're just looking for something to experience, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend watching this game, because the playing is actually part of the experience. This isn't a game you just, okay, I'm interested in the story, so I just want to know the story. Yes, you will get a lot of emotions because the music, the art style, but overcoming each of the obstacles and not just watching it happen is part of this thing. And truly, if you ever have a problem with anyone around you being like, oh, games are for children, and why don't you rather read a book? Show them this game. Their mind will be blown. They will not understand how this thing got created. And they will not understand why it exists and why it isn't like a book. Because this is what people expect from books. Or sometimes from artsy movies.
Yeah.
But here it's presented in the form of a video game. And truly, Nomada Studio, you did well.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else you played this week?
No.
Then let's take a look at the news.
Alright.
So we're going to start with a rather simple article. The 10 most searched games of 2018 by Google. So, yeah, Google released their stats for 2018. And let's take a look at them. So, let's take a look at number 1. Anybody has a guess? What is the number 1 game that has been most searched for?
Fortnite.
Yeah, it is Fortnite. It's unavoidable. Yeah, we know this game isn't a new game or anything like that. But this isn't a list of best games of 2018. This is just what games have people searched for the most. So yeah, I don't think we need to talk why Fortnite is number 1. We know, everybody knows why Fortnite is number 1.
Yeah.
Second spot is Red Dead Redemption 2.
No shocker there.
No, I don't think. I think it's a little bit of a shocker because of how late in the year it came out. But
Yeah, sure.
then we also need to remember this is the game, people known for quite a while it's coming out, and a lot of them have been like searching, is it available? Where can I pre-order? And when is it coming out? Can I see the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what pushed Red Dead Redemption to number 2. Third place, Fallout 76. So partially I think it's the same reasoning as for Red Dead Redemption 2. People were just really excited about Fallout 76. But on top of that, it's all the controversies that have plagued it.
Yeah.
The number 4 is quite a surprise for me. Far Cry 5.
Yeah, really.
Like,
Wow.
I'm not sure if I would be that interested in this one. I don't think it was a big hit or anything. Like, it was a hit. It was Far Cry, but
yeah.
And then again, it was Far Cry. Okay, number 5. I think this one, honestly, I would have put higher. God of War.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the fact that it's a console exclusive, I think that's the thing that dragged it down. Because that's the game you get advertised immediately as soon as you start your console. You really didn't need that much advertising for it because everybody who owned a PS, they knew about it. So it was.
Yep.
It's really not that big of a deal. Number 6 is a bit surprising to me because I always thought this was more of an Asian market game. Monster Hunter World.
Actually, that is not surprising.
Well, the game is great. I will give you that. But, I don't think any of the previous Monster Hunter games would have made this list.
No.
But Monster Hunter World.
I agree there.
So, you know.
Yeah, Monster World, well, the series in its entirety is a niche game, but thanks to its release, it's finally broken out in the West, so that's good for the series.
Okay, Tyler, can we just try restarting the phone call? Maybe it will help.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's do
so
it.
we're just going to quickly do that because the quality really isn't good at the moment. Hopefully it will fix it.
Yeah, freaking Zero Media.
Sorry, what?
I said freaking Zero Media.
Okay, the video quality is better, but the audio quality is still not great. Maybe it will fix itself. I truly don't know. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, after Monster Hunter World, we have Sea of Thieves, and this is a big surprise for me.
yeah.
So, the game, from what I understood, was really not that great. Like, it was almost bad to a degree.
Yeah.
It wasn't a commercial success, as far as I understand. Yeah, it was just, I think people were just excited, you know, about it, but when it came out, nobody cared after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number 8, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. This one isn't a surprise for me, personally.
Yeah, same here.
But number 9, Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is a surprise for me. What about you?
Yeah, it kind of is a surprise considering back in February. So there's that.
Yeah, that probably helped. But Kingdom Come Deliverance is a huge niche game. Like, not that many people are really interested in literally a medieval simulator. So, I don't know. But the last one, Zombs Royale.
I've never heard of that.
Neither have I. But apparently it's the 10 most searched for a game. I actually have a trailer for you guys. So it's a mobile game, which you probably guessed by the name. And you also probably guessed this is a battle royale for your cell phones with really simple graphics. That means it works, well, probably even on any phone. But yeah, I think it's actually cool. A game you wouldn't expect makes it to the top 10 list. I have no idea whether the game is good or bad. Like, no idea. And honestly, I might try it out on my cell phone. Like, just because of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the second piece of news. This one will be somewhat quick. The NES and SNES classics are being discontinued. Yeah, everybody can be sad.
Sorry. Pick them up, man.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be sad. So this comes from Reggie Fils-Aime, the CEO of Nintendo America, saying Nintendo is discontinuing the production on both the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic. And that means that once the consoles are out of stock, the only way to get them will be buying used one at absurd prices on eBay, Craigslist, and whatever else you have.
Yeah.
Oh man, probably at least in America, it seems that they're still going to be available throughout the holiday season. So I highly suggest if you really want it and you've been just slacking off, go and get it right now because it will not be available after holidays very clearly. What is somewhat interesting, it seems that the console will still be produced for Nintendo Japan and Nintendo Europe. So, interesting. Only America gets screwed on this one for once.
Yeah.
I sort of wonder why. like, I would actually assume that means the market has been mostly saturated with them in the United States. What do you think?
Yeah, it sucks. Say, them finally discontinuing the classics.
Hmm.
I'm definitely going to go and try and pick both these up whenever I get a chance.
Yeah, you definitely should. And that also goes for anybody else who wants them. So moving
Yeah.
on to our third and penultimate piece of news. So we have a politician in Pennsylvania. He wants to introduce a 10% sale tax on violent video games because he thinks that is one of the ways to prevent violence in real life. His name is Christopher B. Quinn. He comes from the Republicans, but before you go rage and be like, I'm voting Democrat right now, there was also a Democrat who co-wrote the law. So, yeah, both parties are idiots. Apparently, if the law passes, the 10% sales tax will go toward a fund that will pay for school safety enhancements. Whatever that means. And yeah, apparently he's basing this of a research study performed by the National Center for Health Research that claimed that people who play violent video games can experience an increase in aggressive thoughts, behaviors, and feelings. On the other hand, there have been many more studies who claim that there is no correlation or link between video games and aggressive behavior. So, yeah, it's sort of sad that this is happening.
Actually, he's not the first one to propose this, and he'll definitely not be the last. But I mean, come on. There have been so many studies about this kind of stuff. It's basing off of one study. Go and do more research, man. I'll say that much. Because if you got consent and you play quote unquote violent video games, you'll know not to do that crap in real life.
Well, I think the biggest problem is people who are still in senates, in any houses, they're still mostly old people. They didn't grow up with video games. I think this sort of push will just disappear, I would say 20 years from now. Because that will be the point where most people who will be in these positions, or at least a good number of them, will have grown up with video games. And they will just understand, dude, I also played Doom when I was a kid. I'm not shooting anyone, and everyone I know played Doom. It's like, the problem is there's always that one crazy person who will just go and do bad stuff. Let's face it, he will use a gun, he will use a knife. There are like acid attacks going on in Britain. Nobody's claiming that it's video games' fault, because there are games in which you can use acid to burn other people. It's just the problem that the easiest way to convey, well, it's a genre essentially. It's really a genre. It's a shooter genre, and because of the amount of gun violence in the United States, which is not caused by this, is just caused by the sheer amount of guns circulating among the populace in the U.S. It has nothing to do with guns. And I'm not saying that people should ban guns in the U.S. either. I'm just saying the reason why you guys have gun violence is the amount of guns circulating. That's why Britain has, well, most of the world has knife problems, because everybody can get a knife. It's the easiest way to kill another person. But in the US, you have guns circulating at a number that actually makes them easy to get for pretty much anyone, if they really want to.
also add this too. Even if we didn't get like gun control, that will not stop the gun violence. You will just find other ways to get guns. So
Yeah, the only way your gun violence problem would get solved would be to get rid of the weapons that are in your country already. And I think that is really unfeasible. Like, good luck with that.
Yeah. Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just me. But I do think these types of violent crimes would actually go down if everyone had a gun.
I don't think they would go down. I think they would have less victims, maybe.
Yeah.
But the amount of them would still be would be similar, because that's about the amount of people who in the population who have the capability of being violent to such a degree. Okay, and let's take a look at our last piece of news. And man, this is big news. This is why we kept it for last. So, you guys might remember, over the past, I think 2 months in total, we have been talking about the gaming problem of China. The fact that there was a point where no new games were being released in China because they just weren't being approved. That's how recently the Chinese government created something called the Online Gaming Ethics Review Committee. And it was created to make sure that games don't have ethically questionable content. Yeah, so you can probably see this will not be going anyplace fun.
No.
So far, 20 games have been reviewed by this committee. None of them have passed. None of the games have passed with like any issues. 11 developers were instructed to take, corrective action. And 9 games have been banned entirely. Including the biggest game of ever, Fortnite. Ooh, holy hell, so I actually have a list of the games that have been both require quote unquote corrective action and games that are banned. So let's go over them. So first we have a game called, let's go over the first corrective action games. The ones that are not banned, but they need to change stuff to be able to continue to be on the market. So you have a game called Arena of Valor. If I remember correctly, that is a MOBA game. Yes, it's a mobile game, and it's also available for Nintendo Switch. And the reasons that are said here are overly revealing female characters. By the way, this will be a very common theme. Overly revealing female characters. Rewards given based on rank. What I assume here means it's not communist enough. You know, the best people get better result, but get better rewards. And the last one is distorted concepts of history and culture. What do you think of these for Arena of Valor?
I've never played the game or seen any gameplay, but I think I don't know what to think. China.
Well, that's the scary part. China is fucking huge. And people, like,
yeah,
there's so many people just like, oh, it's China, they're just copying every. China is so close to us technology, it's not even funny. But they have 1 billion people, more than 1 billion people. It's just,
Yeah.
China is so scary to me. Okay, second we have
Oh yeah.
League of Legends. Overly revealing female characters. Rewards given based on rank. An inharmonious chat room. This is not worth laughing. This is.
I'm not laughing because it's hilarious. I'm laughing because like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Unharmonious chat room. Yeah, that's common with every multiplayer game, just about.
Okay, Blade and Soul. Overly revealing female characters in harmonious chat room. Chu Liu Zhang. Overly revealing female characters in harmonious chat room. Game missions include fraud. This one is interesting. Game missions include fraud. It's like, what did... Does it just literally mean that, like, one of the missions in the game makes you perform fraud and they don't like that? I don't know. Okay, next we have Overwatch. And this one, listen to this one and explain it to me. Game visuals promote incorrect values.
Wow.
What does that even mean? Obviously, the next one is inharmonious chat room, but yeah, we all know that.
Yeah. With every multiplayer game, just about.
Diablo in harmonious chat. Game missions include fraud. World of Warcraft. Overly revealing female characters in harmonious chat room. Also, if there ever was a game in which there weren't overly revealing female characters, I'd say that's World of Warcraft. Yeah, because the male and female armor are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Westward Journey. Overly revealing female characters in harmonious chat room. Distorted concepts of history and culture. Code Eva. Rewards given based on rank. Distorted concepts of history and culture. And the Legends of Myr 3 in harmonious chat room. And Swords of Legends Online in harmonious chat room. And we're still only talking about the games that are to be corrected. Now let's take a look at the games to be banned. And the reason here, I think everybody will see the common thread here. So let's start with the big one. Fortnite. Blood and gore. Vulgar content. PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Blood and gore. H1Z1, blood and gore, vulgar content. Alliance of Valiant Arms, blood and gore, vulgar content. Rings of Elysium, blood and gore, vulgar content. Paladins, overly revealing female characters, blood and gore, vulgar content. Free Fire Battlegrounds, overly revealing female characters, blood and gore, vulgar content. Knives Out, overly revealing female characters, blood and gore, vulgar content. And last of all, Quantum Matrix, blood and gore, vulgar content in a harmonious chat. So obviously the common thread here is blood and gore.
Okay. A majority of those I can get for blood and gore, but Fortnite?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what's the difference in blood and gore between, let's say, Overwatch or Paladins and Fortnite?
Yeah.
Like, is there a blood effect in
No.
Fortnite?
As far as I know, there isn't.
Yeah. I have no idea. And the same thing for Paladins. Like, Paladins is banned because blood and gore. There isn't any.
Yeah.
Like, maybe one... Maybe there are some characters that are, like, bloody. I know there's, like, a skeleton costume in Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not available in China because you just can't show skeletons, and hopefully Epic isn't that stupid to just include that in the Chinese version. So that's just the list. And as you can see, the list makes no sense. Like, I can understand things like, we would like you to try to work on a better chat system so people who are toxic can't be as toxic. I can sort of understand that. I think I can even understand that they're overly revealing female characters, like why they wouldn't like that. Because they're a very conservative society. It's not that I would go for that, it's just, I think I can understand it. The ones that really are confusing to me are rewards given based on rank. And I truly believe this is just them trying to seem communist.
And not to mention, the others that want to promote communism is distortion of history and culture.
Well, that one I actually don't have that big of a problem with, because I think I understand where they're coming from, but I don't think they understand where the games are coming from. They're not trying to say we are historical, but maybe they are in like Chinese descriptions or something, so maybe that could be an issue there.
Possibly.
The Overwatch one, game visuals promote incorrect values.
Yeah, that one.
It's like, what? And what do you mean by that?
Seriously.
How do visuals promote values?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I can think about here is like, there are like ads, and the game like looks like it's made in a capitalistic sense. I don't know. Otherwise, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And as far as blood and gore, I think they're just being picky here.
Yeah, really. Especially with both Fortnite and Paladins. Might be the skins, some of the skins, but
the problem with this one is its larger implications.
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, China is a giant-ass market.
Yeah, it is.
It's 1 billion people, of which a good number are gamers. And I know a good number of them are mobile gamers, but still. And if you really, truly want to be successful to an extent no other game is, and you want to be making tons of money, you need to be successful in China. And publishers, if their games are not going to be getting approved, they will accommodate to this. And it will start influencing the games that are hitting the Western markets as well.
Yeah.
And that just scares the shit out of me.
Same here. Same here, man.
Like, I truly don't know what else to say. It's just like, maybe write a letter to like your congressperson and tell them, we're scared of this. We don't want to see similar stuff happening in our countries as well. Make them aware of these issues. Because I think for most of them, this is just, yeah, who cares? It's just games. We truly need to make people understand that. Like, can you imagine if this was happening for TV? How the rest of the world would be like, oh, China's going on a censoring spree. But with video games, people don't mention it. Don't seem to care. But this is how it starts. It starts with the thing you think you don't care about. So you're like, yeah, whatever. Next time it's something that you're like, I don't like that, but I agreed to that, so what can I say here? And then it's like, oh fuck, what did I do? This is how it happens. And I can truly tell you, I come from a country where censorship was a common thing just less than 3 decades ago.
Yeah.
So be sure to make your politicians know. It's the only way to prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it for the news this week. It was really not an optimistic end.
Nah.
So to add a little optimism to our show, let's take a look at the interesting games for next week. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
So let me start by a game called Heat. Heat is a massive multiplayer Wild West simulator. So essentially, it's Red Dead Redemption 2 online. But in more of a survival setting, I say, because you can build stuff, you get to survive, you get to trade. But if you're looking for, I would say, a more full experience of the Wild West in an online setting, Heat might be actually your thing. Or if you just like survival games and you want to try it in a different setting, again, Heat might be your thing. It's going to come out on the 18th. That means Tuesday. Sadly, I do not see a price here. It's going to be in early access, as is the common theme. But I think for the people who like this genre, who like survival games, they're pretty much used to this at this point.
Okay.
Okay, what about you? What do you have to recommend?
Well, this is the corner of an older game, and that's Firewatch, which is on the Switch.
Oh right, Firewatch is coming to Switch.
Yeah, if you've only owned a Nintendo system your entire life, and you get to play this game, I highly recommend you go and play through it. It only takes about a few hours of the story, and you might enjoy it. So go for it. And it comes on December 18th.
So again, Tuesday. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be coming for like $20.
I guess so.
Okay, and last game I would like to recommend. This is again a multiplayer game, but this time it's a multiplayer arena shooter. But with an interesting twist on it. You get to play as a drone. And the game is called Drone. And holy hell, this looks actually really fun. It's a shooter, but because you're a drone, it adds the ability to fly around to the formula. I don't think I've seen that before, or done really well, to be honest. And this game looks spectacular, and it actually sort of reminds me of Unreal Tournament, and I really hope it's good because I would actually like to try this out.
Okay.
Drone is coming out on the 17th. That means tomorrow. And sadly, I do not see a price here, but I'm gonna assume this one is gonna be at least $40. Though maybe they're gonna release it at a cheaper price and hope for microtransactions. But we will have to see.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you have to recommend?
Nope. How about you?
Not really. Thus, I think it's time to slowly bring the show to an end by doing a bit of shilling. And again, I'll go first today. You can find me at Kralizec Gaming on YouTube, where you can see my video game reviews and sometimes commentaries. A review of Greece will be coming out tomorrow, so if you are interested in that, be sure to check it out. And you can find me on Steam at Kralizec, where I do the same stuff, pretty much. And what about you, Tiger?
You can find it on YouTube as Tygergamer. You can find it on Steam at Tygergamer. I mainly do Let's Play, so I'm doing a playthrough of Spyro 2 Just Rage Reignited, so if you want to revisit that game, you want to watch my videos on it, we'll have a fun time.
And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. Again, we really apologize for today's technical issues.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all.
One of us is in Europe, the other one is in America. Sometimes the internet just doesn't cooperate as it could. But we hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you are watching on Steam, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in for next episode. See you guys later with more gaming content.
Yeah, have a good one.